To the first edition for 2021 of Tipped Out, Lace Out's little brother, hosted by myself, Chris Pepper, and the wonderful Jamie J. Dog Wallace, as we give you our expert opinion for the round one tips. Can you believe footy's back, mate? Or can you believe, J. Dog, that this great game of ours is back?
It has hit hard and fast.
Well, you know what's going to be fast? The round and our tips. We're going to get in there. We're going to rip them out to you. We're just going to tell you what it is. The teams aren't all out, so we're only going by our feeling and what we think the game is going to be on the outcome. So without further ado, let's get into it. But actually, I will say one thing. We have drawn the winner for our AFL game ball, and the winner has been contacted by email. So get onto your email. See if you have an email from myself, the Lace Out Podcast at Gmail account, to see if you are the winner. And if you are, please get back to me because we want to send you a cracking brand new AFL game ball straight to your address. So let us know if you get it, and good luck to that individual person. And as soon as we know, we'll let everybody know. All right, here we go. Round one, game one, the biggest letdown of the season.
It's
always on a Thursday night. Pardon?
It's the Sacrificial Cup.
Oh, it's a Sacrificial Cup. It's Carlton's grand final every single year. Richmond versus Carlton. Look, I'm just going to simply go with this. I'm going with Richmond. I'm going with the team that has got the runs on the board. They've won 3 out of the last 4. They've got 22 out of their 20 out of the 22 from last year, I believe, are playing in this game. Yes, Carlton's got Sard. Yes, they're another year older. I just think when you're this early into the season, you've just got to go where the experts lie and where the guns lie, and the guns lie at Richmond.
Yep, Richmond for me.
Richmond for you. All right, mate. Who do you take us through on the Friday night game? The Trelaw Cup, 7:50pm, MCG, live on Channel 7. Collingwood versus the Western Bulldogs. J-Dog, who are you tipping?
For me, I'm going to go the Bulldogs. Midfield strength, and I think Collingwood is going to falter big time. This season, I don't know if I wrote them down, but I don't have a good. I think Western Bulldogs.
Okay, here's the thing. With Collingwood, they got rid of 3 things: Stevenson, Trelaw,
my
Phillips.
son.
Yep, and your son. Yes, your son. And if anybody hasn't seen, check our Facebook page. We have actually got Jamie and his son comparison. So does Jamie look like Jaden Stevenson's dad? Leave an opinion on our Facebook page.
There is a 100% agree wave at the moment. There's no one disagrees.
Whether it's on Facebook and whether it's on Instagram, people are agreeing wholeheartedly. They've lost speed, and the game's all about speed now, and they're not going to keep up. Plus, I witnessed firsthand a couple of weeks ago the demolition power of the midfield of the Western Bulldogs, and they're going to beat a lot of teams on that deck. Big ground, lots of pace, and Trelaw is. I'm putting this one out there. Trelaw to pull at least one Brownlow vote. He is going to be on a mission to show Collingwood that they completely foobarred that one up. So I am going with the Bulldogs as well. As we head into the day of days, Saturday, 1:45 at the home of football, the MCG, the Demons of Melbourne versus the Dockers of Fremantle. Look, I'm going where the heart lies, and I'm going with the Ds. Fremantle have got a couple of people out at the moment. It's going to make it a little bit tough for them. Melbourne have to get off to a good start. First of all, for Goody's perspective, also from a confidence perspective, and also to get the membership up as well. We know Melbourne love a winner. Melbourne supporters love a winner, and membership should rise by at least 10% if they win the first game. And I'm quietly confident that they will do so.
For me, I'm looking forward to the Hoganless Shield.
Yes.
I'm going to go for Melbourne as well, Peps. Just I want to see Goody have a really great season and cement himself in for another couple of years of coaching.
Okay, let's move across from that topic. We'll leave that one for the Melbourne preview, which will be coming out very, very, very shortly. Hey,
looking forward to it.
This could be a blockbuster of a game. Adelaide, 4:35 p.m. at the Adelaide Oval. The Crows of Adelaide had an absolute terror of a season last year. They've had people leave, plenty of off-field shuffle work against Dad's Army. Yes, the Geelong Cats. Higgins is in. Cameron is in. Isaac Smith is in. Polly Farmer didn't get a game this week. Could be on the emergency list. Who else is there? Buddha Hocking will be running around. Sam Newman is the injury sub.
Ken Hinkley's playing for them. He's back.
Ken Hinkley's there. John Barnes will be rucking. That's how old this team is. Without a doubt, though, they will absolutely pump Adelaide. This is going to be a tenner.
Lock in 100.
Lock in a hungy?
Yeah.
Put it on your multi?
For sure.
Put that one on your multi. Okay, so the Cats for both of us. Here's a bit of a two-up. Arch enemies. They love the Stouse. Line in the sand game. They've played grand finals against each other. They love belting the absolute snot out of each other. The Essendon Bombers, Hawthorn Hawks, playing at 7:25 p.m. at Marvel Stadium. And you know what the best thing about this is? Only 25,000 people can go. Sucked in, losers. Sucked in. Because we're not even going to get 25,000 at the G. Sucked in. That's what you get when you want to play under a roof indoors all the time, you softies. Look, I watched a little bit of both these teams, and I have to go, where did the quality lie in the preseason? And I think I didn't want to say it, but I will. Go with the Dons, mate. What they did in that first practice game, they've got a bit of speed, they've got a bit of spunk in the middle. Ruts will want to get off to a good start. Listening to Dylan Shield on the radio, there's a bit of character about them at the moment. You never know. I think they might surprise us, and I think who would I rely on more? I think I'm going with Essendon over the Hawks.
Yeah, do you know what? It's a tough one because, I mean, last year, Essendon were a shit show. This year coming into it, Hawks are going to be in for another year of pain. But I'm going to go, just because you and I have been following each other down the path, I'm going to go for Hawthorn in this game.
Ooh.
No particular reason. There's literally no reason why I'm going for Hawthorn. It's just that Essendon, I think, are the worser of the two teams.
The worser of the two teams?
Yes, the worser.
Well, they did actually. The Bulldogs did lose to Hawthorn earlier in the season, so that was a bit of a shocker. We were all a little bit stunned by when they played a bit of a practice match earlier on in the season, but it's one of those things too. So, yep, you just never know. Is it going to be the good Essendon? Is it going to be the bad Essendon? Is the Warpedo going to cause destruction?
Also,
is Mitchell going to get cheapies out the back like he does all the most overrated Brownlow medalist outside of Trek Conchin?
Also, I hear that Clarko's had a conversation with Gill and has actually got now a sixth player on the bench just coming through. So I just want to keep that on the down low. But
wouldn't be surprised.
Hawks going to have 6 players on the bench for Hawthorn this week.
Sensational. You know who won't have 6 players on the bench, but they'll have a pair of eyes watching this game. It's a battle of the youth. The Brisbane Lions versus the Swans of Sydney. 7:45 at the Jabba the Hutt. Look, the Lions should have won the flag last year. Let's be honest. They had everything set up for them. They were living at home, living in their own premises, kicking goals at their home stadium, home crowd, and unfortunately they let it slip in prelim weekend. But I think with Joe Danaher added to that, it looks like he's had a cracking preseason. The Swans, full of youth, a bit of Franklins, not Buddy, but no-name brands, running around. Don't know enough about them at this stage, and that's why I'm going with the Brisbane Lions early on in season 2021.
Yeah. Brisbane for me, Buddy Franklin is, I don't know, if you're a Swanee supporter, do you even worry about round 1 for Buddy Franklin anymore? Because he's got another 2 years on that $10 million contract. Money well spent. Maybe we'll see towards the end of the season.
Look, there's only 2 things. I hope he gets to 300 games, and I hope he kicks his 1,000th goal. That's all I want, because you'll never see another 1,000 goal kicker. He is a gun. All right, let's get on to the Sunday games. I'm going to get you to kick this one off because it's your team, Port Adelaide versus the North Melbourne Kangaroos at the house of North Melbourne, Marvel Stadium, 1:10 p.m.
Yes,
What's your thoughts, mate?
We are travelling across our first game, top of the ladder last season. Now have to travel for the first game of the season this year. It just shows the AFL bias. But anyway, we are, long story short, we should pump North Melbourne. I've got it's Jamie's Son Cup, this one here. So Stevenson hopefully doesn't kick a bag. But other than that, from North Melbourne, I'm not really worried. There's no big Ben Brennan anymore. I don't see a reason why we should lose this. And Port should comfortably win this, especially on the fast deck at Marvel. I mean, we've got speed to burn.
Look, I just hope that North put up a good show. You've got a new coach in there. David Noble will be setting the standards for this team once again. And we just don't know. They didn't have a great run in the preseason. That may tick over. This could be a double hungy for Adelaide teams. 100-point win for Port and 100-point loss for Adelaide. Put that in your multi. Anything can happen. All right. An interesting game is going to be at 3:20 p.m. The Giants of Greater Western Sydney versus St Kilda. We know the Saints have been demoralised with injuries over the last preseason. This one is going to be a bit of a challenge because GWS don't have good old Jezza down there. But who's to say who are you going to go with? I think I'm just going to go with the Giants just for the sake it's in Canberra or it's in Giant Stadium. And they've got a lot less injuries than St Kilda. You can't read much form at the moment. They weren't too bad during the preseason, but I just think they've got too many injuries this early on. And with Kingy going down with a titleist to the Temple, that does make it a bit of a challenge as well. So I'm going with the Giants, big fella.
Yeah, I'm going to follow you there. I'm going to just go the favourite for this game here, which is the Giants currently at 164.
Beautiful. Well, let's go into the last game. It's the last game of the round, 6:10 p.m. Optus Stadium in WA, and that's Australian Eastern Standard Time, so whatever time it is in Perth. Eagles at $1.21, Gold Coast at $4.45. The thing I would love to see from this game is simply one thing. Matt Rowell come out and just pick up from where he left off last year. Mm-hmm. Like he was in Brownlow, give me the Brownlow form, rising star form last year. If he can do that again against West Coast, it's going to be a bit hard over there with the crowd. We know what that's like having the 19th man on the oval. But, geez, the Suns, they're getting better. And I think that, like I said, they are going to win a flag before GWS because they've got a really good crop of kids. And I think Stewie Jew's in a great spot with this mob. And if he can just keep them together and stop the purging that happens from their team down in Melbourne, they could be setting themselves up for something. Are they final 8? Not too sure. Bit hard to read. They usually start off the seasons quite well and then fall in a heap. I think we're not going to see it this year, but I am going with West Coast for the sheer fact it is in Perth.
Yeah, for me, West Coast, Perth, no one could even go into that state for the last 12 months. So it means nothing to this game, obviously, but I'm going to just choose West Coast.
Yep, awesome. So, hey, look, that's it. I know it's not much of a insights into what we're tipping at the moment, but it's the first round. You really can't do much with it. You sort of got to go with less with the head and more with the heart, and that's who we've gone with. So it looks like we're pretty much across the board except for the Essendon Hawthorn game. So, look, there's your first episode of Tipped Out with Peps, with J-Dog. Remember, check your email because you could be the winner of the AFL Game Ball. It's going to be coming out from the Lice Out podcast at gmail.com email address. It's going to be coming from myself, Peps. Read it, get in contact with me, and if you're the winner, I look forward to sending you out a ball and announcing it on our next episode. But J-Dog, there's our tips. Let's go and hit the couch. Let's go grab a bevy and let's watch this first game between the Tigers and the Blues. But more importantly, how do you want your tips, big fella?
I want them tipped out.
That's it. We'll see you Tuesday night live on Facebook. And for everybody who's listened to the first episode on the streams and also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc., it has been a massive start to the year. So we thank you very, very much, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
See you, listeners.